Okay, good day, good evening, good afternoon. This is Alex Haigh with EXP and the Haigh Group of the Treasure Coast. Today, we're going to talk about a little bit of a serious subject, the war in Ukraine, and does that affect our local real estate market? Stay tuned. Now, one of the things that I will say that what war does is it tends to pull back risk taking, okay? And so that's why a lot of times that's why you've seen gold going up, because gold is a risk off asset. And I don't kind of want to get too much into commodities or any of that kind of thing right now, but it's a measure. So gold is a measure of what people feel like, doom and gloom is out there. And so as gold goes up, it also goes up with inflation. And so the second part of what I want to talk about here is that interest rates were going up. The Fed was, as we call it, hawkish. In the FOMC meeting, they did raise by 25 basis points. And so interest rates, that doesn't affect directly 30-year mortgages, but it does indirectly affect those. So as interest rates go up, less people can borrow, all right? And ultimately, that can cool off an economy that is growing, okay? Now, ultimately, I don't want to get too deep here, but the interest rates are a big deal. And as inflation has gone up, which, a lot of people have talked about the Ukraine disrupting fuel, gas, and 50% of Germany's natural gas comes from Russia. So if they have to get fuel other places, that creates disruption and it creates inflation. And so that's why you're seeing, potentially at the pumps, rising fuel prices, and that's an indication of inflation. And so the Fed looks at that, and in order to bring inflation down, they raise interest rates. And so that affects mortgages, and that can soften a increasing real estate market. So there's a lot of things at play here. And ultimately, anybody that tells you one thing is it probably is not right. There's a lot of factors that go into this. This is not by no means, in my opinion, a similar thing to 2007. That was a micro, collateralized debt obligations that went, haywire and drove the real estate market up. This real estate market has been driven up by other reasons, which I'm not going to get into here, but the war in Ukraine certainly potentially can affect a softening in local real estate markets. Now, across the board, we're seeing a little bit of a softening. Is that because the interest rates are rising? Is that because the Fed is seeing inflation and raising interest rates to stave off inflation? Does that have to do with the Ukraine as well? Potentially. So there's a lot of things at play here. Obviously, there's a lot of terrible things going on there in Ukraine, and our hearts and minds are with those folks. And I've actually been to Kiev, and it's an amazing city. And, at the end of the day, how that's going to affect us, I know it does in some way, shape, or form. Anybody that says that's a direct, it's tough to say. So at the end of the day, I think it does. Time will tell. And, our hearts and minds are with the people in Ukraine. And we'll see how this whole thing plays out. Stay tuned for more episodes here at the Haigh Group, the Alex Haigh Group, for where things are going and where things are and where things, have been. All right? Thank you so much. God bless. Have a great day.